Hi there, welcome to I Lone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Aries energy, and we're going to start out with just the Kipper deck to get a beginning energy, and then we're going to build upon that in with tarot. I do have another channel, it's called Tarot Land Soap Opera, and that one I'm doing a top row and a bottom row, kind of high vibe, shadowy contrast, and we're using the whole Kipper deck if any of you want to check that out. But anyway, we're going to talk about how different people in the world might be harnessing their Aries energy. We all do tap into Aries energy. And if you harness high vibe Aries energy, you probably want to be in a relationship with people who harness high vibe Aries energy. If you're more motivated and inspired by the world in your Aries energy, and that's how you think you can manifest your dreams into reality more so than aligning with listening to your intuition and love and maybe being just and fair and motivated by that. You might want to hang out with some other people who are kind of more motivated by being inspired by the world. And if you're shadowy Aries, you're going to just try to manipulate people to get what you want. So we have people in concern. And it has to do with these two cards. This card kind of flipped over in the deck. I couldn't see what card it was, and maybe that's what it's talking about. Maybe there are some people who are giving some thought and have some concern, but they might not be showing other people. And the reason they might be concerned is something, some people are really caught up. The feminines in tarot, the masculine in tarot, we all take action in masculine energy, and we can present ourselves any way we want to in the world. Aries energy is kind of like, the King of Wands, the Emperor energy, wanting to look like we're bold and brave and confident and victorious and successful and good leaders of our life, good leaders in the world. But we can all present ourselves any way we want to. There are some people who try to present themselves as being that, and they're not. Because the masculines in tarot can represent how we're presenting ourselves in the world. But who are we really internally, emotionally? How do we think? How do we feel? And that can be represented by the feminine cards in tarot. So there might be some people that do harness shadowy Aries energy. They like to be more bossy and controlling and all about themselves. But they might be hiding that. Why? Because people in their life or their world or their community have certain expectations about how they should behave. So even though they might want to be bossy and controlling for some, they're not doing it because of other people. Because emotionally, there might be some people they want to work with. And right, Aries energy in general is about the self. And it can be, there's a lot of things that, if it's just up to us, the way we'd want to do things, when it's just us, my wants, my needs, my lusts, my greed, my pride, my ego, my status, my image, me, 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 me. There's some people in the world, that is the truth of what kind of person they are. And why are they like that? Because of what they align with within themselves emotionally. We all have our dualistic nature. We have our more loving, hopeful, believing nature that wants us to grow and mature ourselves. And we have our more immature, beastly, selfish, self-centered, immature, indulgent nature that wants what it wants. The people who really are kind of all about themselves, the reason they're all about themselves is because emotionally, that's the foundation they free willingly choose to align with within themselves. We either grow up and mature ourselves and learn how to play nice with others, and we shed some of our more immature, indulgent, prideful, egotistical, self-centered ways of being as we kind of grow up in life. And there's some people that are very, we're on the spectrum. Some of you might know people who are seem to be outright narcissists, but they try to hide that from the world. Other people, you might know people who are just kind of bossy and controlling and kind of want things their way, but you might know that they're kind of hiding that nature with the people they're in a relationship with because they don't want those, because that's what shadowy people do. A lot of them. I mean, we do see people in the world that are authentically their awful self in the world, and we maybe end up reading about them in the newspaper and on the news. But most people try to hide if they are very selfish and greedy, and some people are just concerned. Now, for the high vibe people, and also some people could not be taking action right now. Some people, there are things that they want to take action towards. Some of the high vibe people, some of the low vibe people. I think some of the shadowy people, there is things they'd like to take action towards, but they're not taking the action towards the things they'd really like to take action towards because they might have people in their life who, you know, if they really acted on their selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, I just want what I want. They might have some people in their life that, you know, they want to have keep working together with them. And if they kind of revealed the truth of who they were, people would maybe judge them and like, wow, you're not who I thought you were. I didn't know you were that selfish or that greedy or that heartless or bossy or controlling. Other people would like to take some action towards things, but they're not taking the action until they have maybe emotionally kind of worked within themselves. The community card shows like the inner child nature, our emotional, intuitive, maybe spiritual nature, and our worldly nature. And love is what unifies us so that when we take action, and if you want to be a high vibe person, harnessing high vibe Aries energy like Emperor energy, we have to be unified. We can't let one aspect of ourselves run our life. Like, oh my God, my emotions are going to run my life. Sorry. All the other aspects of myself, the parts of me that would like me to, in my mind, be more practical and logical and see the truth, and my worldly nature that would like me to be more stable and grounded. Sorry, I'm following my heart and I'm going to go run our life off into the ditch. And sometimes that's what can happen if we emotionally indulge our foundation. Kind of like, are we a good mother, father, coach to our own foundation? And our foundation is our kind of worldly nature. Are we growing and maturing our worldly nature to shed some of those more beastly ways of being to become a more enlightened individual who hopefully aspires to become all that we can be in the world? And to be authentic. High vibe energy is about being authentically yourself, but in high vibe it's operating from a foundation of love. It's like treating other people the way you like to be treated, presenting yourself as someone who acts with character and integrity and justice and fairness and love and compassion and forgiveness, because that's who you truly are. Some people just want to look like they're that type of person to try to get other people to approve of them. And they have to keep hiding the fact that that's really not the truth of who they are for some of them. But let's get a little bit more of a tarot story. Some of you might want to be in a relationship with someone. For some of you, particularly in Aries, because I guess since we're doing Aries energy, I'm kind of looking at that concern card as Aries. And you could, with anyone in your life, there could be people in your life, whether it's your adult children, your siblings, your parents, friends, coworkers, that you could be encouraging kind of like emotionally, but you might not actively be in their life for some reason, or it's not to try to control them. It's in love trying to encourage other people to love and believe in themselves, to get out of letting their like ego run their life and trying to control things and control other people like they're the boss of the world. We have to accept that everybody has free will. Everybody's making the choices in their life based on what motivates and inspires them. And we might, just like we know people that we wish would move forward with us, other people might know people in their life that they wish would move forward with them, or that everybody would move forward together. But are people willing to be bold and brave and confident to change? High Vibe Aries is about being a leader in the world. We can want other people to work together with us to bring a dream into reality, but if there's things in the world that kind of imprison and enslave them, other people in their life that they don't want to kind of take action, that even in love, I want to go live my authentic life. I want to be with the people that really motivate and inspire me. I want to go get in the job and career field that really motivates and inspires me. And if they have other people in their life that they just could be emotionally invested in, high vibe or low vibe, that if those people aren't willing to kind of move forward with them, they're not willing to move forward in their life. But let's go see. Let's do a little tarot story. What tarot story wants to come out with this? Okay. We got some cards not showing themselves, and that's because, of the Six of Wands in reverse. Some people have been hoping that people would move forward with them in a victory, but it's not working. Some of the high vibe people would like people to move forward with them, and it's not happening. Some of the shadowy people want some people to work with them, and it's not working. Well, how do we handle that? When the people that we would like to have work together, because this card is kind of like a Three of Pentacles card. Some people could be focused on a Capricorn, but we have people, high vibe people want to be in a relationship with other people who harness high vibe Capricorn, whether they're a Capricorn sun sign or not, because shadowy Capricorn is represented by the devil. Some people are really emotionally invested in the world, and they want to be in a relationship with other people who are really motivated and inspired by the world. Either indulgence, fear, insecurity, lust, greed, more than love. Some people want to be in relationships with people who have given up on their dreams. You're the type of person I want to be in a relationship with. If some of those people know someone who has the money or the status or the image that they want, or they want to be in a relationship with someone who harnesses more shadowy Capricorn energy, where they are fearful of moving forward in life or believing in themselves or believing in their dreams, or more codependent, those are the type of people they want to be in a relationship with. And it's maybe not working out. They can't get those people, and they're not taking action. So some of those people are kind of operating from pride and ego. I am not willing to get off my high horse to take action towards you. I'm going to wait here in expectation for you to come and communicate with me. And some of those people aren't coming towards them. The high vibe people are listening. High vibe energy is about listening to your intuition and love to guide your actions. And I would assume you maybe did already take action in the Three of Pentacles to offer resources and encouragement and love and whatever to people, and that you made your offer and now you're giving them the free will to decide what they're going to do. And if they don't choose to take action, I think you're going to get out of your ego about the fact that, everybody is where they're at. The people who are free to move forward with me at this time, open to love, open to, just be more free in the world, they would. And if they're not, then they're not someone I can move forward with, and I am not going to get in my ego about it. So, how are people handling this energy differently? I think the high vibe people are doing work within themselves to deal with the fact that some people they would like to have move forward with them in the world in truth and justice and fairness and love, that if those people aren't taking the action they need to take to free themselves from the competition, because the Six of Wands moves away from the Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands can be the competition. And some people we know are caught up in their fear, their insecurity, their addiction, their not wanting to step out of their comfort zone, not wanting to take creative, inspired action in their life because they like living life this certain way, and taking more bold, brave, confident action in their life is not what they do. They might be very motivated and inspired by the world and take action to have victory and success that way. But to leave behind the world and more about living your life from ego and image and status kind of controlling your life, no, that'd be a whole different way of viewing life. And that's part of the truth that we've got to see, that some people, we have this underlying philosophy of life that somewhere along the way kind of got solidified within us. And it's very hard to change a person's perception of the world and what they think is important, what they think isn't important. And some people don't want to do love because they get hurt doing love. And so they'd rather be in relationships that are, everybody stays in a relationship because of the ego and the image and the money or the addictions or whatever. And everybody keeps caught up in the illusion of the world. And it's not being about more bold and brave to listen to your heart and intuition guide you moving forward in unknown territory. It's like, no, let's keep doing things the way my folks did it. No, let's do things the way your folks did it. Let's do things the way everybody else in the community seems to do it. I don't want to do things any differently. Not willing to harness high vibe Leo energy, which is about being authentically yourself in the world, letting your light shine. This is what really motivates and inspires me. This is what is my unique talent, skill, and interest, Because we either conform to the world or we're transformed by the renewing of our mind, and what we think dictates how we view the world, how we view ourselves in the world, how we view what is the ideal relationship to be in. And some people's ideal relationship to be in is, I want you to work with me in a relationship, and then I'm here to stop you from kind of loving and believing in yourself to do life any differently. Because I emotionally want to do it this way. I do not take bold, brave, creative action. Some people right now are wondering about different people that they might have an opportunity to work with or be in a relationship with or are currently in a relationship with. Some of the people who want to emotionally control people are kind of wondering, can I manipulate this person? If I get this person in a relationship with me, can I make them do this all our life? Where they work together with me, and they keep focused on me, and we just keep doing life like this. Nobody listens to their intuition. Nobody's inspired to do life any differently. Let's not do that. What if we do that and it doesn't work? Let's not do love. What if I do love and I'm open and authentic and it doesn't work out? Why do some people not do love? Because if it didn't work out, they maybe don't have a very strong foundation within themselves emotionally to believe they could pick themselves up. For some people, it would really completely devastate them. And, those of us who have gone through some really difficult relationships with some people, it is really, you do have to know how to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. If people throw you under the bus and kick you to the curb, some people give up on their dreams. It's like, nope, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to do this. Not going to take bold, brave action in my life anymore. Now I'm going to try to control people in a relationship. High vibe people don't try to control other people in a relationship. But people who are in shadowy energy and fearful and insecure and wanting to be in a relationship but not wanting it to, go into the danger zone of love. Are you fearful and insecure? Are you someone who's willing to give up your aspirations of a deep emotional relationship to settle maybe for a relationship where, we have intimacy and by worldly standards it looks like we got it all? But it's kind of more of shadowy energy, is kind of more of like the illusion that we have it all when we know there's other people in the world who really have it all. They are open and authentic and loving and they're just and fair and nobody's trying to be bossy and controlling and emotionally manipulating other people. We'd only try to manipulate people when there's some, we're not willing to go with the flow to see where things lead us. And some people don't want to go with the flow because that could just make them feel like they're out of control. So sadly, and then, sadly, some of those people got in their ego about it. They got in a relationship with someone who also could have had some shadowy ways of being. And because it didn't work out the way they thought, some of those people kind of gave up on their dreams. And other people didn't give up on their dreams. And other people realized, oh, okay, so this didn't turn out the way I thought. And high vibe energy is about learning the lessons you're meant to learn from that, because we come in contact with all these different people to get clear about what their truth is versus what our truth is. You can get in a relationship and then it's like, oh, so you really like kind of being immature and indulgent. Okay. I just thought everybody would be motivated to work cooperatively together in love, and I thought people would grow and mature themselves, but not you? No? Okay. Oh, are you kind of prideful and egotistical and it's to be emotionally manipulative and kind of more about you and your wants and needs and lust and greed and ego and image, and it really isn't about love? Oh, I thought it was about getting out of our ego and growing and maturing ourselves and facing our fears and insecurities and working together cooperatively with each other. But no? Okay. you know. And sometimes it's just that we're in different places at different times, and, you know, you're ready to move forward differently in a way that they are. But, we can have people in our life that we do view as being loving people and nurturing and supportive people, but somehow we're just not kind of clicking on the same things. And other people we could know who are kind of shadowy. And the whole thing is just to see the truth of it, get out of our ego about it. And high vibe people are doing this work within themselves. Lovers reverse, Nine of Pentacles reverse, Eight of Cups reverse, and the King of Cups reverse. Well, if we were in a relationship with people who might not view us as, there's that unique thing, just like finding a good friend, what makes us click more with someone where it's like, oh my gosh, we should go hang out sometime, like a good friend, versus someone, we kind of feel like, I don't think it'll ever get to that level of relationship, but you can be friends or coworkers or whatever. Sometimes we have people in our life that it just doesn't click that way to be in a romantic relationship. And we got to see that. And then we also might know some people who aren't very loving. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. We might know some people, if it was a romantic relationship and we wanted to bring a dream into reality based on love, and they might want to stay single, maybe not ready for a formal commitment yet, then we might realize that, I really want those things. So if that's not where you're at and you kind of think, I don't know, want to play the field some more and indulge in the world, then I hope it works out for you. But I'm going to go invest my time, energy, and effort into people who are motivated to put in work and effort into working on a long-term relationship. And the Nine of Pentacles can be people who aren't very independent. They are kind of codependent, and there could be other people in their life that they're maybe more codependent on for their sense of stability or emotional stability. And, if those people aren't moving forward in life that way, they're not going to move forward in life that way any differently than they are. So they're not very, some people aren't very independent. Some people don't know their worth and value. And they have a lot of fears and insecurities that kind of manipulate them. And the foundation of fear and insecurity is what emotionally manipulates them. And so they kind of don't know their worth and value, some of them. The Eight of Cups in reverse, some people, the Eight of Cups in high vibe is I love myself enough to work through my own emotional confusion of the past or life, my own emotions. And I also love myself enough not to get caught up in illusion and fantasy land. That there can be people in my life that I love, but if those people are being kind of shadowy and they're trying to maybe emotionally control me and stop me from moving forward, we can love people, but sometimes people that we have love for don't really have our best interests at heart because they don't plan on living their life any differently. And sadly, then some of those people, it's like, well, I don't want you to go live the life of your dreams because then I'll feel like my life's not victorious because I maybe didn't listen to my intuition and I maybe didn't take bold, brave, confident action. And I keep living my life repeating this old pattern. And some people don't realize right now that they could have some people in their life in Scorpio energy, people that they could have deep emotional connections with that really don't have their best interest at heart. And if they themselves are emotionally afraid of being hurt, their own Scorpio nature manipulates them and convinces them don't move forward with those loving people. We could get hurt. I know. Let's try to emotionally manipulate ourselves, basically, into thinking that wouldn't be a victory. We should live our life repeating this past pattern. Because why don't we do the things that we do? Nobody could manipulate us or tempt us. We could all be tempted every day if we wanted to go out more in the world and go to certain places and give in to our more immature, indulgent nature, right? We could go there, and some of those people that are there could try to tempt us, and we'd be like, yeah, no thanks. you know, because it's not something we're aligned with within ourselves. Why are some people tempted by those things? Because in their own mind, those things, they could tell themselves, well, maybe whatever their issues are, not loving themselves, being codependent on the world, being codependent on other people, not knowing their worth and value, not believing in themselves, not believing in their dreams, don't love themselves, reject loving people in their life. You know, shadowy energy is about kind of short term relief, short term gratification. It's why we can get caught up in addictions in the world. And some people's addiction is money and materialism. I don't want to deal with my issues, but if I make my life about money and materialism, and I really emotionally focus on the world and having the status and the image and the money and the materialism, then I don't have to maybe take action towards any of those issues that I don't want to deal with anyway. But the world will view me as victorious and successful. And maybe if I have those things of the world, there'll be other people who will be willing to emotionally invest in me and turn their back on their dreams and their wishes because we can all be tempted by the things of the world. Our shadowy Capricorn nature is represented by the devil. I'll give you all these things of the world. Just give up on love. Quit believing in your dreams. Don't live your life to your full potential. Do not become all that you can be. Settle for the things of the world. You'll be happy. And we can also get caught up in addiction because, the things of the world are meant to be enjoyed, but they're meant to be enjoyed from a foundation of love for ourselves. That way we don't give those things of the world that much power in our life for our sense of worth and value and to make us feel better about ourselves. like drinking and drugs and eating and gambling and sex or being in relationships. We keep things in balance and in perspective. We know that those things aren't, well, if you've lived enough life and learned enough hard lessons, you've learned that those things, the very things that you thought when you hadn't learned to love and believe in yourself, that you thought they were the answer, it kind of drags your life into the pit of hell. Sometimes, we barely make it out because we gave those things of the world too much power to be the answer in our life. And same way with people who make money and status and image. That's going to make me happy. I'm sure that will fulfill me. Then I'll finally be happy. Then people will see me as having worth and value. Then people will want to emotionally invest in me. Then, I'll be more bold and brave and confident. Then, and it's like those things aren't loving and encouraging us to face our fears and insecurities and helping us detach from our own self-limiting beliefs. They actually kind of bind us closer, tighter and tighter, and it gets harder and harder to detach from them because they're our vices to make ourselves feel better, instead of taking inspired action to love ourselves, know our worth and value, love ourselves enough to walk away from people who might have been manipulative or selfish or greedy or bossy or controlling or just who weren't who they said they were. And the high vibe people get out of their ego about the fact that they could have loved somebody that they wanted to have move forward with them because they could have loved them and viewed them as loving. And if that's not their free will choice, in order to set ourselves free, we have to get out of our ego about it. And I think that's what high vibe people are doing within their own foundation, to love themselves. Love is what sets us free. I'm going to give myself all the things that I wish other people would have given me. I'm going to treat myself with love and respect and kindness and compassion because I don't control other people, and apparently other people aren't maybe choosing to move forward with me in a loving, just, fair, victorious way. So I have to accept the reality of that, or I have to stay in like sadness and keep hoping that one day those people will take action. But then we're in like stuck, stagnant energy, right? And our dream isn't codependent on certain people. Just kind of like God wants to bring things into reality. He wants humanity to grow and mature and learn lessons in life. Well, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to repeat some old patterns. It's like, that's okay. It all works itself out. But, it's just looking for the people in the world who are on the same page as you, and you work with the people who are open to love, who are open to equal give and take, who are open to being just and fair, who are open to being loving, compassionate, forgiving people in the world. And that's what God does too. It's always hoping God's eternally waiting for people to choose love. Well, God has an infinite time to wait for people. But we are meant to have our divine inheritance come into reality, to become all that we can be. And if we keep stuck back here, like, no, God, it has to be this certain person. It's like, oh, but they made the free will choice not to move forward. But God, I want it to be that person. It's like, yeah, but they have free will and they're not doing that. But God, and it's like, get out of your ego. If you don't learn to get out of your ego, you're not going to have the victory and success you want. It is not codependent on certain people. We keep instead of like loving our more prideful, worldly, I had a dream in love nature God. It's like, you can have whatever dream you want, pumpkin. But everyone has free will. And if they're not willing to move forward with you and have hope and faith and belief in their dreams and take action in love, well, then your dreams can't come into reality with them. and until they win the battle within themselves, they're going to keep repeating these old patterns because they haven't been illuminated to the truth. And they might go through some really difficult times in their life. In the meantime, how about you go live your life? So let go of the people who might like to be single and indulge themselves in wearing a false mask, aligning more with their egoic nature because they view that as victory instead of seeing through the illusion of the world and maybe being more independent from the world and choosing love to be authentically themselves in the world. And it's kind of hard to explain if you're in the midst of it, but it is just looking at life differently. The whole goal, I think, is to be free to be authentically yourself in the energy of love, because then we're not enslaved and imprisoned by our fear and our insecurities and our pride and our ego. And I think that's what some high vibe people are doing within themselves. And I think some other people are rejecting harnessing those energies in a high vibe way of loving themselves, to be more independent, to believe in their dreams, to offer love to their own egoic nature so they can get out of their ego nature. And they could be trying to hide from people in the world that they are working with, that they're not very emotionally independent or maybe even very stable and grounded within themselves, and creating the illusion I'm willing to bring a dream into reality, but they're really not. And some of them are hiding that they're just indulging themselves in a relationship. Emotionally, they could present themselves as, oh no, I'm willing to work cooperatively with you together. But behind the scenes, it's really about just them indulging themselves. Or I'll indulge you. So long as you don't grow and mature yourself and face your fears and insecurities to move forward in life, I'll keep staying in a relationship with you. If you do learn to love and believe in yourself and get out of your egoic nature, yeah, I'm going to go find someone else to go back to and get in a relationship with, because I'm not going to move forward in life differently. Okay, let's make sure my deck is upright this time. What else is there to this little story about Aries energy? Okay, we have the Queen of Cups flip in the middle of the deck. Some people emotionally love the past. That's what the Six of Cups can be. I like repeating those patterns and ways of being in the world. I like being in relationships with other people who live their life that way. And I'm defensive to doing life any differently in my shadowy Leo nature. Some people like to be in relationship with other people who don't love and believe in themselves because it helps. They like to view themselves as a loving person, but the only type of relationship they like to be a loving person in a relationship with is other people who kind of haven't learned to love and believe in themselves. Then it's kind of like, they're the parent and you're the child, and then you view them as loving, and it could be wanting people in their codependent energy. I want you to look at me as loving. I want you to stand up and defend me as loving. And I want us to work together in a relationship. And I'm kind of indulging myself in this illusion of who I am and feeling like I'm a very loving person. And I'm indulging in the relationship with you, like sexually, if it's a romantic relationship. But the only problem is, if you start to love yourself and are inspired to heal your past and heal from your past pain and heartbreak and some of your self-limiting beliefs, and you start to be inspired to move forward in life differently, well, then I'm going to become defensive too. Because you don't look to me. It's kind of like high vibe people want other people to be motivated and inspired to believe in themselves, to listen to their intuition, to listen to their own unique things that are unique to them, because we've all got unique talent, skills, and interests. I mean, some people don't find out they're a painter. I read about I don't know, like a cardiac surgeon who, I wonder if he had a stroke or what he had, and it just really felt like, I've got to learn how to play piano. Never had really played piano, I don't think, in his life. He started having someone come over at like 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning to teach him piano before he went to work after he got recovered. And then he ended up writing a concerto and performed it somewhere. I mean, we all have unique talent, skills, and interests that could motivate and inspire other people in the world, or at least that motivate and inspire us. And these other people are like, no, 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 no. That would be us being more independent from the world and loving and believing in ourselves and shining our light. Let's make our life about loving the world and conforming to the world and just doing whatever anybody else is doing. I don't want to, like, live my authentic life. I mean, the only reason I can think that some people don't want to be free of that shit is just because they're afraid of failure or judgment or whatever, so they're not even willing to be bold and brave enough to take the risk. But you look at all the people in the world who created things in the world, like I think the light bulb, I don't know, maybe it was like 1,000 times before they got the light bulb to work. If we're not willing to step out of our comfort zone, to walk in life differently than we had been, and start to get comfortable with it, we're never going to get comfortable with it. And we'll keep repeating this pattern. Some people are so unwilling to get out of their ego. You know, it's like being in this very kind of receptive energy when they've made no action towards anybody to maybe even express their truth. That would be extremely prideful and egotistical. But you're somehow waiting for these people to want to come get in a relationship with you and be inspired to be in a relationship with you, but you don't invest anything in people. I don't know how that's going to work out for some people. Anyway, I think the high vibe people who have dealt with some people that either that wasn't the right relationship or some people in shadowy energy, I think the high vibe people stayed in the energy of love to reconcile themselves. I kind of look at the Six of Cups as coming to balance about the past. And it's love that helps us heal. I can accept that people have fear and insecurities. I can accept that some people are prideful and egotistical, bossy and controlling. I can accept that people are defensive. I can accept that I wasn't the right person for some people and we don't click as being good friends and we don't click as like romantic relationship. I'm not going to be on my ego about it, because there's probably been people in my life that wanted me to be more of a friend and more involved with them than I really had interest in. And it wasn't really anything to do with them personally. It's just, where's that natural kind of flow that makes you know that, wow, this is just kind of moving forward in a life of its own. It has, when two people can come together where it creates this energy that just flows on its own, that's kind of when you're kind of in the right relationship. And there's been people that we can love. Some of them can be our children, some of them can be other people in our life. It's just getting to a place of acceptance. And I accept that everybody is where they're at. Everybody has their own things that hold them back from being more authentic in relationship with you, being more loving in relationship with you, being more encouraging in relationship with you, being more just and fair when they're in relationship with you. And it's like, I can accept that everybody has their thing, and I'm going to make peace with the past, that everybody has the free will to create whatever life they want. It's just that there are consequences for our actions, and sometimes some people who are kind of bossy and controlling think that they're the boss, and they think they're the boss of their life, and they think they're the boss of your life. And some of those people could act in these very defensive, prideful, egotistical, manipulative ways of being because they want to control your life. And they could know that you love them. Oh, look, I'm going to go do this. Oh, are you focused on me? Oh my God, I'm so powerful. Oh, look, I did this. Look, I turned my back to you. Look. And eventually people are like, you know what? I've seen through the illusion. I used to view you as someone that I believed I could work together with to have a victory with. But I've done this work within myself while you've been doing what you're doing, which isn't being loving, isn't going within to grow and mature yourself, excessively maybe indulging yourself instead of dealing with all the things that manipulate you and seeing you kind of wear a false mask. And that you might be, when cards are in reverse, it can mean extremes. You know, some of the people you know are very in shadowy Leo energy. They don't have to be a Leo sun sign, they just harness shadowy Leo energy. Either they're not bold and brave and confident to be more independent in the world, so then the world and everything manipulates them, and that's going to be a little hell they're going to create in their life. Who likes to keep being manipulated by other people and your fear or your ego or whatever? But some people are very prideful and egotistical and full of themselves, and they think that they're stopping maybe other people, because that is kind of what negative energy tries to do, right? You know, the battle between, not to say you're God and they're the devil or anything like that, but we're just playing out energies at a smaller level. At the big energetic level, we live in a world of duality. The high vibe energies represented by God, the shadowy energies represented by the devil. And we all have a dualistic nature. We have the seeds of both planted within us. And they're battling with each other. Shadowy energy doesn't want anybody to align with high vibe loving energy. Loving energy is trying to encourage people to love and believe in themselves. And we have this battle within ourselves. And everybody's got to win that battle to choose, I have hope and faith and belief and love, and I'm no longer going to be manipulated by my more immature, indulgent, selfish, greedy, prideful, lazy, petty, envious, jealous, want to blame everyone else for my problems. You know, the list goes on. Are we motivated and inspired to grow and mature ourselves, or are we not? Do we have any interest in getting out of our emotionally defensive nature, defensive to love and being hurt, or do we not? Do we want to be bossy and controlling in relationships, or are we willing to let that go? You know, is it more important what the world thinks of us than what we think of ourselves? Some people, their whole sense of worth and value is based on how, at least in their mind, they think other people perceive them. Other people could perceive them as a complete idiot. But if they, in their mind, because what we think about ourselves is what's so important, what we think about the other people in the world, or how we think the other people view us, you know, and they could think that other people feel that they'd be an idiot to go do life the other way. And so operating in this pride and ego, yeah, they're gonna all think I'm in this victorious, successful relationship where I don't know, I look like I have it all, but I'm defensive to change. I'm defensive to facing my fears. I'm defensive of growing and maturing myself. It's like, yeah, I don't know how many people really in the world are applauding them. And that's part of the thing of walk away from the illusion. Whose life are we living our life for? Are we free to live our authentic life? Well, what would these people think? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, you have no fucking idea what those people think about your damn life anyway. And they maybe don't really think too much about your life. But when they see you not being bold and brave and confident enough to just live your authentic life and go be in the jobs and relationships with the people that really light you up and inspire you and that you love, yeah, they could think you're an idiot. And you could think that, oh my gosh, but look at the prestigious, whatever, you know, things I got going on. It's like, you know, but we tend to think maybe that that's how other people think, because however we think can be how we think other people think. And some people are all caught up in this illusion. Other people are living their authentic life. Maybe saying, I don't give a damn what other people think. I got one lifetime. I'm going to live my authentic life. I want, in high vibe energy, to be proud of myself. I don't want to act in petty, envious, jealous, selfish, greedy ways of being. I want to feel proud of myself, that I grew and matured myself. I want to treat people in a just and fair and loving manner. I want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. That's high vibe Scorpio energy. Shadowy Scorpio energy is like, I'm defensive to deep, meaningful relationships, and I may find it emotionally confusing. I like to be in relationships with people, but I prefer more emotionally shallow, superficial relationships. Or maybe I can get people who are fearful and insecure and codependent to view me as loving, so they'll be defensive to ever wanting to move away from me. But if they do, I'm going to be defensive to them because I like living my life like this. And I like perceiving myself as a loving person, but it only works out as long as those people don't want me to deal with any of my issues. As long as I can have all my issues, all the things that manipulate me, all the people in my life that manipulate me, the world that manipulates me, my fear, my insecurity, my pride, my ego, as long as I can have all those things still manipulate me, we're good. But if you free yourself from any of those things that you came into the relationship with, that initially you viewed me as loving, where instead of like me being the parent and you're the child and you want to be in a more just and fair relationship, oh, sorry. No, I don't like that. Some people could be in a relationship with some people right now, and if if some of those people are shadowy and they've already been in relationships with people who have love and hope and faith and belief, you know, it seems crazy, but they don't want to be in relationships with people like that because they know the end result that eventually they're not willing to change. And they know those people want them to shed their philosophy of life to take on their philosophy of life. And they don't have an interest in doing that. I don't want to live my life like that. It's not what motivates and inspires me. I'm defensive to that. I like to be defensive. You know, I like to be in relationships and maybe, emotionally manipulate people to get what I want in a relationship and hide the fact that it's really more about me. Because if you're not willing to be truthful and authentic and loving, you're getting in a relationship, creating an illusion, and it really is all about them. It's just that the other people don't know it. It's like, oh, so this isn't going to be a just and fair and relationship and emotionally mature and grow. You're going to hide behind your false persona all your life, and your authentic nature is going to look out through your eyeballs, but your ego is going to run your life. But I'm going to be open and authentic and loving and warm, but I don't get the same in return. I get the cardboard cutout version of you. And some people are standing up for love, and they realize they can't have a victory with other people who haven't detached from the competition to choose love and to stand up for love. And until they do that within themselves and reconcile themselves with their past and learn to give, because why aren't they doing love? Probably because some things that happened in their past. For some, and then maybe genetically, some people can just be born to be very self consumed and narcissistic. But I think there's other people in the world because I kind of think God maintains balance in the world because of this world of duality. Some people bulk of the people are probably like in the bell curve. We have the people on the extreme edges, but the bulk of us are kind of going back and forth and trying to pick a side. And at any given time, different people like, nope, or they run their life off into the ditch. And little do they know they're going on a journey to learn some hard lessons. Some other people have overcome some things and they're kind of going over there. And it's kind of going back and forth throughout life. But I think there's just as many people in the world who want to be in deep, meaningful relationships, who have been in relationships with people that they learn the lesson they were meant to learn, that that's not my idea of a victory. Yeah, no, you acting like that or just living life like this, or, you know, where I really don't feel like I'm moving forward in a balanced, inspired, warm, loving, nurturing relationship. Yeah, no. And there's other people in the world who want to be in the same type of relationships as some of you. And some of those people might be doing some of the work within themselves to love their foundation, because the feminine figures can mean loving yourself, because you're connected in with your emotions and your intuition, which is kind of like a gift from the divine, right? We could have been born a computer, but we have emotions and thoughts, and so it's kind of a more high vibrational nature within us. And some people are doing the work within themselves to get out of some fears and insecurities they might have about not making their life about fear or ego or defensiveness. And for some of you, you might have someone, it could be someone from your past, is what the Six of Cups could talk about. It could be someone that you currently work with. It could be, uh, just as you go forward in the world and meeting people, that there's going to be other people in the world who see that you don't act in those shadowy ways. Like, so you're not acting prideful and egotistical and manipulative and immature and indulgent. Oh my gosh, you should have seen the last peoples I've gotten out with. And yeah, some of those people are going to want to get to know you and be in a relationship with you and stand up and defend you, because you're someone that people can work with cooperatively in a relationship, where they do let their more vulnerable, like inner child authentic nature come out to play with, because they trust you not to hurt them, because you do treat other people the way you like to be treated. You do the work to not operate from your ego, your shadowy nature. You're not in your shadowy energy. You defend and stand up for love and justice and character and integrity. And there's going to be other people who want to get in relationship with you. And while you're maintaining balance within yourself, you're standing up for yourself, not to just let anyone, not anyone, when you're a loving, giving, nurturing person, you have to stand up and protect yourself, because you have learned these hard lessons in your past. And part of it was of this whole process was maybe to get you to reconcile with your past pain and heartbreak, to get you to be bold and brave enough to stand up for yourself and what you believe in, and to value yourself, that I know I can get emotionally invested in people and get really emotionally attached to people, and that you're maybe a very loving, giving, nurturing person. But it's not to protect yourself from everybody, but it's to get to know people and have good boundaries and listen to your intuition. That we can know all sorts of people that we get along with in a social kind of way, kind of the Six of Cups. But to get to the heart of who I am, no, not just anyone gets there anymore. I can be very loving and encouraging and supportive to a lot of people and not have them get that close, or for me to even invest in them in that way. Let's go look. What's coming up? I think if the shadowy people find someone who they think is willing to kind of indulge them in their kind of immature, emotionally defensive ways, they're going to probably defend that person. It's like, oh, look, I found someone who gave up on their dreams and believing in themselves, or just has lessons to learn, and I came into their life to try to get, that's why nothing's wasted in the world, because God uses any of us when we're kind of in some shadowy energy or immature or got some growing up to do, to be kind of like a catalyst in someone else's life. Because at any moment, we all have the opportunity to choose to move forward and live our life differently, but we might need a catalyst. And that's how, all things work out for God's good purposes. Because, oh, are you shadowy and selfless? I'm going to send someone over. But the thing is, it's not like God sends those shadowy people into our life. We're drawn and attracted to certain people because we do have lessons to learn from them. If we're willing to learn the lesson, and if we see that they're not working with us cooperatively in love, and their idea of a relationship is different than ours, and we have different dreams, motivated and inspired by different things. If we're willing to get out of our ego to stand up for ourselves and love ourselves and reconcile ourselves with it, we take the lesson we learned and we moved on. A lot of times we can stay in it a long time because, we're going to like to try to make things work. And, the devil's about, ow, this hurts, ow, this hurts. And eventually it's like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. And it was maybe people in their Aries energy had to learn a lesson about their Queen of Cups nature. That just because we can love people and we can be a loving, encouraging person doesn't mean that automatically people are going to respond in kind to that. They have their own fears and insecurities and defensiveness, and that could seem like hell to them. Like, get away from me, Satan, you loving person. You could hurt me, But they'll indulge in it for a long time. But they'll keep being defensive because they haven't aligned with that within themselves, and they may never. What's coming up for the high vibe people? The Seven of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, because of the King of Swords. So, you saw the truth. The truth is what sets us free to live our life differently. And other people are seeing the truth. And they're taking action in truth. And they're putting in work and effort into their philosophy of life to incorporate love. Queen of Wands and high vibe is like represented by the sun also. I'm going to start listening to my intuition, and I've seen some truth maybe of how my foundation, my philosophy of life, maybe was a little more aligned with living more from my mind than listening to my intuition. And I think we go through all these life experiences to realize too that our intuition was given to us as a gift to help us navigate through difficult times. But we want what we want, and when we're younger we might have that little voice that says, I don't think you should do this, I don't think it's a good idea. Well, we ignore it because we kind of think we're the boss. and that's shadowy Aries energy too. I think I'm the boss. I'm gonna do it anyway. I think it's just and fair. I'm gonna go indulge in my ego, and then it probably doesn't turn out the way we think, and we get ourselves kind of entangled up in some things that emotionally it's hard to extract ourselves from. And maybe that's part of it, to realize not to be emotionally detached, but to realize, who do I really want to keep? Why would I want to bother investing myself and getting myself emotionally entangled? Because we are emotionally complex human beings, and we can have a wide range of thoughts about the exact same person. I hate them. I love them. I wish they'd go away. I hope they stay. I hope they never come back. I hope they come back. So, it's about seeing the truth. For one, I need to start investing and listening to my intuition. If I want to quit operating more out of my ego, I need to see the truth that I need to maybe love myself so I don't take action out of fear or insecurity or pride or ego or lust or greed. And that I love and believe in myself to keep taking action in truth and love and justice and fairness, and how I take action in my life, and then how I treat other people. If I want to be in relationships with people who are loving and warm and just and fair and truthful and honest, I need to be loving and warm and truthful and honest and just and fair and balanced within myself. I have to know how to offset my own fears and my own insecurities with love and hope and faith and belief. It isn't someone else's job to do that for me. And some of the people in shadowy energy do think that's someone else's job. They look at other people like other people look to booze or drugs. Are you going to be the answer to my problems? Perfect. You know? And then if their issues bubble up, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Why are some of my fears and insecurities bubbling up? I got in a relationship with you. I was amazingly supposed to be like bold and brave and confident, and all my problems were supposed to go away. And then if their issues start to bubble up, then it's like, well, you're not the answer. I have to go find the people who are the answer. I'm going to let go of the relationship with you, and I'm going to go find someone else who I think is the answer. So it is like someone, kind of reminds me of this children's book, Are You My Mother? And this little bird fell out of a nest and it's walking all around, talking to a piece of machinery. Are you my mother? Sees a dog. Are you my mother? Sees a flower. Are you my mother? We are meant to learn to love ourselves, to align with love within ourselves, to be our own best mother, father, coach voice in ourselves, to heal from the past, to be bold and brave enough to be our authentic self in the world because we've aligned with love. And some people are still looking for the answer and they haven't realized that the answer lies within them. So they keep looking to the world or the money or the booze or the drugs or another relationship to be the answer. Some of you other people too, you might have someone who wants to invest in you because they see the truth of who you are. And when you see people who are loving and nurturing and warm, people who harness, well, we're talking about Aries energy, but also Taurus, Leo, and Libra, their philosophy of life is aligned with life-giving energy and truth and justice. And they're bold and brave enough to live their life that way, authentically themselves, vulnerable, loving, honest. Some of those people, when you see those type of people, you're defending that nature within yourself, and you're going to defend other people in your life who are those kind of people. And you might have some other people come in willing to stand up and defend you as they get to know you and realize you're that kind of person. Other people are going to be defensive to you because you do speak the truth. And you illuminate the truth just by being who you are. That phrase, your light irritates their demons. By you just being who you are in the world, it bothers some people because it makes them realize all the things that kind of imprison and enslave them. That before you could have come around, and the people they were hanging out with, they had no idea they weren't living the dream. And then when they see you, it's like, well, you seem to be living your life differently. You seem to be more free than we are. You don't seem to be as confined and restricted. And that can be people who are confined and restricted to try to live the perfect ideal life. Look how pristine we are and what pillars of society we are. To people who seem to really have run their life off into the ditch. You know how it's both extremes, because both extremes are probably not very balanced. What's coming up for the people who are in this a little more worldly or shadowy Taurus energy? Or no, Aries energy. The Tower, the Four of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and then the Chariot was kind of sticking out in the middle of the deck. And the main underlying one for these is the Devil, and the one for the Chariot is the Seven of Cups. Well, for one, I think if there was some shadowy people in your life who thought, oh, other people will never love and believe in themselves, they'll never quit this job, they'll never quit being my friend, they'll never get out of a relationship with me, they might experience a Tower moment, which is a really upsetting their foundation, a shock. Because some people are taking that cup of love to put an end to what manipulates them in their life. And when they're no longer manipulated by it within themselves, the other people in their life who try to prey on their fear, their insecurity, their more immature, codependent, lustful, greedy, whatever nature, they are no longer tempted by those people because they've like offered themselves love to figure out why they don't move forward in the energy of love, and they saw through the illusion. Why am I not doing love? Because these people in your life tempt you to keep moving forward with them in illusion. Your own fear and insecurity manipulates you. Your mind manipulates you. You know, we can get caught up in our mind and our fears and our insecurities. How about we get balanced within ourselves? That's the Six of Cups. Offset our fears and insecurities with some love and hope and faith and belief. Goodness, do we want our mind, our fearful, insecure nature to run our life forever? It's going to keep backstabbing us from having victory in our life. It's going to keep us in toxic relationships and leave us emotionally confused. And some of the people who thought, I'm the boss, I'm going to do all these things to maybe try to hurt some people in my life who didn't indulge me in the illusion. How dare you not do and stay in a relationship or a workplace or a friendship doing this relationship the way I like to do it? And people who think they're the boss and that they shouldn't have to grow up and mature themselves and put an end to their more shadowy, egoic nature, where the way they harness their Cancer energy is they use their emotions manipulatively in a relationship. They're not doing love and getting in the driver's seat of their life. They just try to make it look like they're in high vibe energy. Look at me, I'm this loving, just and fair person that acts with character and integrity. It's like, no, you don't. You just try to present yourself. The devil, because the Chariot card is Cancer energy, which is about love and home and family. In their shadowy Capricorn devil energy, they try to present themselves as loving energy, but it's just an illusion. And other people that we're in relationships with saw the truth of it. That was the Tower moment. And if we're willing, when God shows us the truth, do you see what I just showed you? I showed you the truth of who this person was. Yes, it's confusing because you have love for them. They could be in your own family. They could be people you've known since childhood. They could be a friend you've had since childhood. Who knows at what time people tip into shadowy energy, because anybody can kind of get off the beaten path. You know, some people start, it happens slowly over time. People can just get spoiled in a relationship. But also over time, people can kind of let other things in the world become more important to them, like money or materialism or drugs or, you know, alcohol, whatever, themselves, you know, instead of being more just and fair. And other people saw the truth that these people aren't offering love. And that maybe what they're really trying to do is stop you from loving and believing in yourself and using the love that you have for them to try to manipulate and confuse you, to keep you staying in an unstable foundation where you feel like you're missing an opportunity in love, where you feel like you have no other options. Better to stay with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. And some people are like, screw that. I'm going to take that cup of love to believe in my dreams, and I'm going to stop moving forward with the devil, and I'm going to move forward victoriously because I'm no longer letting my fears and my insecurities and my illusions hold me back anymore. And I'm going to be an example in the world, which is high vibe Aries energy, being a leader. I'm going to make good decisions in my life. And though I could have love for some of these people and wish that they would move forward with me in a just and fair and loving and warm and character and integrity way, they're not. Okay, well, that's how I'm going to live my life. And if they want to keep staying and keep making decisions out of pride and ego and ignoring love and not getting in the driver's seat of their life, keep living a life of illusion and indulging in however they indulge themselves, I wish you peace. I hope it works out. But it's not going to work out the way they think it is, because I think this whole world is about learning when you're on the wrong path. Ow, that hurts. Ow, that hurts. And to think that you can have everything turn out the way you want when you're planting bad seeds, you don't have good intentions, you're selfish, you're greedy, you're prideful, you're egotistical, you're immature, you refuse to grow up, you refuse to get out of your pride and ego and admit maybe you've made some mistakes in life, that maybe you have some growing up and maturing to do. Well, pride comes before the fall. I think we've read a lot of newspaper articles over the last several years of people who I'm sure for decades people were saying, oh my gosh, like, God, why does that person keep being able to get away with what they get away with? It's so atrocious, the things they do. Maybe like the rich and powerful or something, who, enough is never enough. No, I've got to rape and I've got to abuse and I've got to embezzle and I've got to steal and, that's why shadow energy is like an addiction. And that's why probably the love of money is the root of all evil. Money itself is like a form of abundance. Nothing wrong with money and abundance. When people love it, it'd be like people loving alcohol, loving drugs, making those things so important to them, they're completely lost in the delusion, not seeing things clearly at all. Love and people that are loving, or people, it corrupts them worse, apparently, than drugs or alcohol, which is hard to believe because we also read in the paper about how atrocious, people can act on drugs and alcohol, abuse. Well, another thing they might not see coming is some people have moved on. What they also might not see coming, I guess they're going to have someone come in their life because God gives people lots of chances, and God probably first tries with love. Here's some loving people. Do you want to align with these loving people? Are you willing to work through some of your issues to free yourself? No? Okay. Love didn't work. You're up to bat. And I had to laugh because it's kind of like the devil, like, hi. They might have someone come in their life who seems to fit the illusion of what they think they want in life. Oh my gosh, are you codependent? Are you going to view me as a loving person? Are you never going to love and believe in yourself and be codependent on me forever? Perfect. Are you never going to get in the driver's seat of your life and love yourself? Perfect. Are you going to keep ignoring love? Perfect. Are you unstable and ungrounded and maybe caught up in the illusion of the world and all about ego and image and want to move forward with me victoriously in the illusion? Perfect. It's just not going to turn out the way they planned. Now we have two people that might be fearful, insecure, defensive, have their own ways of repeating patterns and ways of being they like to be in a relationship. They're never motivated and inspired to heal from whatever their issues are. And they could also be maybe hiding that they're kind of bossy and controlling and might be very defensive of this person. That maybe this person could end up feeling like they're trapped. But that gives them the free will choice to see the truth. You have everything you wanted. You got all the things of the world. You got someone who presents himself, that regardless of if they ignore your love, backstab and betray you, cause you lots of emotional confusion, when you go out in the world, they present themselves as loving. Oh my gosh. And they might have money to boot. Oh my gosh. You have it all. Well, This is what you manifested. Is this your dream life? And if they say, yep, I'm gonna stick with it, okay, enjoy your life of hell. You could have created a little heaven on earth, but because you're so fearful of being hurt or being authentic or not conforming to the world, I guess you're going to stay in something that's very unstable, unloving, hurtful, unkind, not going anywhere fast, and is all just an illusion. But I guess if by worldly standards it looks like you got it all, and maybe that's kind of the type of people they grew up with, and for them, it feels like they're in their comfort zone. Oh, look, I'm back in a relationship with someone who's bossy and controlling and I feel doesn't love me and is backstabbing and betraying, but when we go out in the world, they present it like we're such a happy family. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm home again. And for some people, that's why they want to be in those relationships, is because that's what they know, that's what they're comfortable with, and they're not willing to do what it takes to free themselves with it, to quit making that their comfort zone. So there you go, Aries. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.